Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to super nerd out for you. You see, I, Thor of THORnews, your planetary defense commander, I have a theory that around eclipses or an Eris alignment, usually 4 or 5 days after, we get some wild weather, and if it's in hurricane season, that can mean a tropical storm or a hurricane. And so, for example, on June 5th, we had an eclipse, and Tropical Cristobal ended up finishing up on June 11th, which would be about 5 days after the eclipse. And then for the June 21st solar eclipse, and solar eclipses are more powerful than lunar eclipses, in my opinion, we are going to have a hurricane on the Pacific Baja side of Mexico. And so now we are watching for a hurricane tropical storm in the Gulf around July 4th or 5th, or anywhere within a 5-day window after that. All right, that's what we're doing here. And I have to remind you that the GFS, which usually gets picked on by everybody, nailed Cristobal and has done an excellent job in 2020. And so we are looking at the exact last 10 runs of the GFS from the very first moment that a tropical storm or hurricane showed up in the models. All right. This is the 00Z, the 22nd, which I think is the very first time it ever showed up. It has a tropical storm heading into Florida. If we move to the 06Z, June 22nd GFS, we have a tropical storm that is going into Jack Steele Land or Southwest Texas, Borney, San Antonio, Brownsville. If we click to the 12Z GFS, 22nd, you have a low pressure system moving into Mexico. If we check the 18Z, June 22nd, we have a tropical storm moving into the same Destin, Miramar, Florida spot, with Alabama, Mississippi getting caught there as well. If we check the 00Z, June 23rd, we have a giant low pressure system clump heading into Louisiana. If you check the 06Z, June 23rd, you get a mess heading into Texas. No big deal. If you check the 12Z, June 23rd, GFS, you get a hurricane going into Mexico just below the south tip of Texas. If you check the 18Z GFS, June 23rd, you get a nasty mess, no problem. Now, if you check the 00Z, which I skipped last night because I was sleeping and forgot to include it and went back to look at it, which is what made me make this video, you get a tropical storm headed into Louisiana on the 6th of July. And then the very latest 06Z, which just came out, you get a tropical storm headed into Mississippi, Alabama, and the very tippy tip of the panhandle of Florida. So this is the 2020. You know, things have been totally wild on every single level. We have a lot of Saharan dust coming through. And so we're looking at the range here is anywhere from the 8th of July to as soon as the 6th of July, which in the eclipse takes place on the 4th. So all of these fall within the window that we have been looking for long before 2020 started. And so, like, I have a method to my madness, and it usually hits. Sometimes I can be wrong, especially if I try to predict a hurricane from over a year out just based off planetary, not counting Eris, alignments. I don't do that anymore. Now we just do what we do, and I'm back on my game. And so I am here for you, and, you know, hopefully it would be like Cristobal, to where it wouldn't be a major storm. It would just be a very interesting storm. But it is 2020, so at some point, be prepared for major hurricanes to show up and be threatening us. You I'm sure atmospheric defense is going to do everything it can to protect us. Asteroid Fight Club will do everything we can to protect y'all. And the Prayer Warriors will do everything they can to protect y'all. But it's best to stay aware, stay safe, stay informed. And I love giving y'all 16-day advance warning on major storms. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, wonderful week, and you rise above all the madness. People are kind of losing their minds. We've got so many planets in retrograde right now. And so by my calculations, we have 6 of the 10 last GFS runs showing a tropical storm or a hurricane. And so that is why I am super duper paying attention and bringing it to your attention. Because as if hurricane evacuation wasn't more complicated enough, it's going to be extra complicated in 2020, and I think you know why. All right, and with all these planets bunched up, we were looking out for earthquakes and volcanoes. We had a 7.5 earthquake hit Mexico, which is a place where the hurricanes will be coming out of. The earthquake hit in Mexico. And we had the Merapi, major volcano eruption in Indonesia, hours after the solar eclipse was over, but it happened at the very edge of the eclipse point. So, I love you. And I'm going to try not to brag about how great I'm doing. But I do a pretty good job as your planetary defense commander. God bless everyone. Stay cool.